I grew up in a very small town about 70 miles from here. It wasn't a dual program or bilingual program, we just had ESL pullout, and so I did struggle with the whole English language. I did have great educators that helped me throughout my education, and so knowing my background and knowing my students' background, I knew that I had to help in another form. And so becoming a teacher has allowed me to help my students. I know that a lot of my students come from the same background as I do, and so it's been amazing, incredible to see these kids grow as I did.
So I knew that I wanted to be a teacher since I was a little girl. I used to play with my dolls like I was the teacher, and I used all kind of books and stuff. I became a teacher in 2014. I moved from Puerto Rico, and there was a position available for a 5th grade dual language teacher, and I just accepted.
Very early, I knew I wanted to be a teacher. Growing up, I always said I wanted to be a teacher. You know, and they ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always wanted to be a teacher. I've been a certified teacher for 12 years, but I was an aide for 11 years. So when I first started at 19, I knew that I needed to do something.
I think every aspect is very rewarding. Seeing their smiles every day is, it makes my day. Listening to them speak in Spanish and in English, and sometimes even going back and forth, what we call Tex-Mex. And just being able to make a very personal connection with them and their lives. I can make a connection language-wise, culturally. It's just been great being specifically here at Bean Elementary.
Whenever you have a student that is struggling, let's say for reading, and at the end of the school year, you can listen to a fluent reader, and you can hear that they are very much into the comprehension of a text. I think that's very rewarding at the end of the day.
These kids make me laugh all the time, and if I go back to culturally, I can make a lot of connections to even shows that I grew up with and that they still watch. For example, El Chavo del Ocho, I can make jokes with them if I have a student that's, if I ask everybody to quiet down and there's one student continuing to talk, I call them Chavo del Ocho, because in this show, in this cartoon, there's always that one student that continues to talk. I mean, there's just a lot of shows that I, as a kid, grew up watching and that these kids continue to watch too. And I mean, just a lot of connections to their lives.
I think that every year is full of moments that will impact you. I would say that one time when my very first year, I wasn't even certified yet. I was a long-term sub. And I have this student coming from Mexico, straight from Mexico. She has issues with her hearing, and having her learning how to be in a school in the United States, having her learn another language, and at the same time, push her to be a successful student was pretty hard. But at the end of the day, today she's graduated from high school, and she's she's a person of good.
They're the ones that keep me coming back, because at the end, they need us. It's sad, but if we're not here, who's going to teach them?
As a teacher, you have to feel it in your heart. If you don't feel it, it's very hard for you to wake up in the morning and do this all over again. It's your commitment as a teacher, as a human being, that what you're doing is going to impact the future.